but we'll make it
What
work.
you're saying is let's not fuck around and get going on this.
Let's get started.
Let's do the damn thing. I came across some questions at the end of the movie, so.
All right, Tim. Yeah. Did you write them down, Aaron?
No, but I literally just watched it like 30 minutes ago, so like I remember it.
Me too.
Pardon me.
I can't say I remember it, but I watched it 30 minutes.
Tim always looks like he's just pointing at people.
It's gotta, Tim's always telling us what to do and making rules and shit. As a proper host, we gotta tell him to be like, don't fucking tell me you're ready till you have a beer. Oh shit, he's not even hearing this.
Damn.
Every time he's like, all right, let's get started.
How funny would it have been if he had the Bluetooth headphones in and I was like wearing the other ones over them to make us think he wasn't wearing them?
Ah, damn you. Make me want to tell you a stand-up comedian story right now. I gotta send you this link. I'm gonna write this down. But we gotta get started.
Welcome to B&B Banter Bros Goes to the Movies. I am Timothy Bennett, and welcome back. With me is Aaron Banyan and Jason Chandler.
Hey.
And tonight we're finally finishing up the Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. The last hour, which is...
Just
this shit is so potent. We had to make it a two-parter.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Well, it's a 3-hour movie, so yeah.
We basically ended it. The first episode at 155 minutes is when they came back from
an hour and 55 minutes.
What did I say?
You said 155 minutes.
Close enough.
That's all right. He said 800,000 on the last one or something for the budget.
800 million.
800 million.
Oh yeah.
When it was 800 and something million. But we stopped at an hour and 55 minutes when they just came back from traveling and doing their whole missions. And I think it was a very appropriate time to stop because now we get just a blip of some serious emotional shit, and then it basically just...
It's like the most powerful third act ever in a fucking movie. We're entering the third act. Yeah.
This third act teabags you with emotion.
They want you to gobble the nuts of it.
Plops it right on your forehead and just lets it sit there.
Perfectly plays.
Soak in the sweat.
Perfectly plays between the action. Like, all right.
And this is a non-stop ride after this.
Oh yeah. And then
all right. So yeah, I was thinking about this when I was watching it today, and I think we should try to go a little bit more chronological, just because at this point it's just a straight shot anyway.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to discuss in this one, because it's a lot of big action, but I wanted to discuss more right away of the purpose of each of these characters, what we thought that their purpose was, before we get into the huge battle, which is 90% of the rest of this film.
Right around the corner.
Okay.
Where we started off, or where we left off, I should say, where we're going to start, is they just got back from their time travel, and who is missing?
Nat
by nature.
So we get the character's reaction to her loss. And how do you guys feel about that? Was it as powerful as they implied or was trying for?
I thought Clint was perfect.
Yep.
I couldn't stand the Hulk.
Right?
Throwing a bench.
Okay, so here's my complaint with that scene, with his reaction is he's been comedic relief up until this point, and then he has this big emotional like drop.
It's hard to make
such
that
a
transition.
harsh turn.
Yep.
And not in a good way. It wasn't
it wasn't even that poignant, but like it for his character and the way his character has been in this movie, it's a very harsh turn, and it's not very good.
And it seemed pretty awkward.
Yeah,
very
almost
because
like he didn't know
because of what Aaron just said.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The drastic turn.
I really get the impression that I get is that you can't do Mark Ruffalo justice doing a good acting job when he's completely CGI'd.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that might have been like if it had been Mark Ruffalo, it might have been a different story because he can emote a little bit differently than the computer generated Hulk.
Yeah.
I have to say yes and no because he is physically acting. He is there.
Yeah. That I get, but it's just it's hard to like parse it from the actor. You know what I mean?
It did not help. He did the CGI and him did the best they could, but it did not help the landing on that emotional point. And that also happens in in a few moments from here. Hopefully remember to bring that up.
Yeah. I just don't think it landed.
Not at all.
I did like Thor's reaction because it was funny.
Right away? Like when they came back?
Thor's reaction to Nat, he's like, "Oh, we can bring her back." You know, it was kind of like teetering between too over the top emotional and comic relief.
Yeah, you're talking about when they're on the dock, outside on the lake.
Yeah, when he says, it doesn't matter, we can bring her back. But
and he's like, "You're earthly powers. I got space powers or some shit." So it was kind of funny. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
maybe it's coming from Love and Thunder that I laughed a little extra.
Yeah, I feel like that was more showing that. I think it shows the differential between Thor and people from Earth because he doesn't understand it the same way because he thinks this isn't permanent. He doesn't understand that it's the soul stone requires a soul for a soul. So like this isn't a changeable thing.
Nobody
he doesn't get that part.
So when Hawkeye,
Clint's reaction was
when he says, "Take your fucking hammer and fly to the fucking planet I was just at and see for yourself, you son of a bitch." This is like the most difficult thing to explain ever, and none of you have been there. So it's like you got to be there, you got to see it to believe it.
Well, it's like explaining it to a child.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
And he is such a child in this movie.
Well, Thor, in a lot of the movies, he's childlike in general when he's interacting with the depth of like human emotion.
Yes,
like he's childlike on a lot of ways in a lot of the movies.
So how he's reacting to all his loss and his failures, it's kind of childish. But I'm not putting him down. It's just you're right, Aaron. He's he had to grow up quick, so he's not like prepared for that shit.
He's also not dealing with anything,
because he's not prepared.
He's actively in denial. Yeah,
he's not prepared for it. He grew up too fast.
But Hawkeye's whole thing is even him explaining and why he's getting so upset is because he doesn't even understand it. Like he first admitted, this is completely out of my.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah. That's the beauty of
my pay grade.
This is him saying, "I'm not a guy with powers. Like, I'm a regular guy. Like this isn't what I'm supposed to be dealing with."
So
when he said it was supposed to be me, that shit landed. Besides his stupid weird haircut, threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, for him to just accept that Nat's gone is
it's
telling you that Nat's gone. If he doesn't believe that she's coming back, she ain't coming back. Because out of anybody there, he's the only one that would go, no, I know her. But he was there. He witnessed it. That's the only thing that he can consciously fathom is that he saw it happen and this is what happened. He got the stone with it. But everything else he doesn't understand. So
so we all agree Hawkeye saved the scene.
Yes.
That sequence.
Well, and I think he was really the focal point of that scene anyway, but
as he should be.
I just think that given what we saw prior and being Ronin and all that, it was appropriate. It was consistent and it was appropriate. Unlike the Hulk, which just fucking flipped upside down. It just felt awkward and
throwing the bench just tops everything off we're saying. It's just that was such a dumb temper tantrum thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
it was like an angry cook throwing utensils around. Like, it's
literally
unnecessary.
It's the joke we used to say about me, just like flip the table.
Yeah. And it's just cry for it. I don't know what it is, but yeah,
it's tantrum throwing.
We all agree on this.
Yeah, we basically agreed that the emotional mark only landed because it was saved by Hawkeye.
The vocal point.
It was validated with a couple of the others, but really,
I did like how Tony Stark said nothing. He just looked like, fuck, that sucks, but we have a job to do.
Yep.
You know, Downey Jr. nailed it in the.
I think he's still concentrated on like Morgan and is like doing that.
And that's part of his mission is to save these motherfuckers. Like the end game, like the bigger picture, all that shit. So that validates what I'm saying.
Basically after that, they do what? They go back to
they conjure up the gauntlet for the Infinity Stones.
Have we talked about Nebula?
No. Actually,
she switched. She's.
Oh yeah, I don't think we did. We didn't talk about that.
I don't think we addressed that.
We did not in our part 1 episode. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I watched it.
So that would be a very.
So we got trading places.
Sorry, I just happened to think of for a moment.
No.
We got smart move.
I don't think we did. So yeah.
Well done.
You're right. So Nebula, So in the part 1 that we probably should have touched base on a little bit was we discovered that Nebula replaced herself from the future with her other version.
So basically the Nebula from before that's still loyal to Thanos replaced the one that was working with everyone else because they're on the same wavelength. They were operating in the same network
because of one.
That's how they found each other.
One sheet of metal or whatever the fucking.
No, that was just to disguise herself. That was like a change.
Oh yeah.
So that literally was just like to disguise.
Gotcha. Camel. Yeah.
It was like Clark Kent's glasses. Just put that little piece on and they won't know.
Yeah, it was I don't know.
You're not wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
It's exactly what she did.
And it worked.
And the second she didn't, she popped that son bitch right back off.
Oh, she's evil. Yeah.
She did that seamlessly like a really professional spy.
Yeah. So she's a big focal point in the next part. That's why I remembered that we should mention that.
Yeah.
As Aaron likes to say, she's the linchpin.
Yep.
Because right now she's the one that starts.
The linchpin or the fulcrum. One of the two. They're both important parts.
There's no big battle without her making this move.
Right.
Trading places. Being a spy.
And really all she does, she doesn't do anything super drastic.
Oh, that happened so fast.
Yeah, all she really did was just fuck with the computer thing and then expose the gateway so everybody
fingered it.
Easy trigger.
She opened up the gateway so Thanos and the army and stuff.
And this is after the botched sort of. Well, there's the discussion of who should use the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well, now are we there? Yeah.
Well, because we've just spoken about Nebula opening the gateways. We need to go back and talk about what happened right before that, because the gauntlet is the focal point. And then Nebula uses the distraction of them trying to tend to Banner to open the gateway.
Open up the gate.
Right.
So there's a discussion of who should use the gauntlet. And
so at this point, Tony Stark invents or creates his own version of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Out of his nanotech and whatever, his Iron Man stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's where they were talking about who should wield it. And the first person to fucking jump on board is who?
Thor, wasn't it? Or was it Hawk? Yeah, Thor.
No, it was Thor.
Yeah, okay.
Thor's
sorry, I had a momentary.
Hawkeye was the first one to jump on time travel, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thor decided. Thor is still
the only one that jumped on time travel.
And his rock bottom delivery on his I need this. I have nothing left. If I die,
let me
I don't
do
give
something.
A fuck.
Says, let me do something good.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt that shit because Tim, like you said at work, we might not have mentioned on episode part 1. He lost everything. There's nothing more anybody can ever lose.
Well, we talk about in Infinity War, he has that conversation with Rocket, and he talks about when they're like, Rocket asks him, like, are you up for this? He's like, talks about he lost Loki, he lost Heimdall, he lost his mom, he lost his dad, lost the woman he loved. Like, so, and, they say, well, what happens if you're not up for it? It's like, well, what else do I have to live for? So clearly from this point on, everything for Thor is a kamikaze mission.
Yes. Yes.
2 point. Yeah.
Exactly. Why his delivery, it hit well with me.
Like we said in that discussion, is that he's accepted that he's either going to win or he's going to fail. But either way, it's one or the other.
Yeah, there's no gray area. This is the gray
area. Where we see him right now is that gray area. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, he's trying to get to black or white is what he's trying to get to.
And so he's lost his mind a little bit. He's the whole Lebowski
desperation will do.
Rug.
He's in kamikaze mode for sure.
Yeah, it's desperation more than anything.
Desperation.
Did we ever get a fucking answer of why they told him no? Because they just said no, right? There was no like.
They said he wasn't in the right frame of mind. Like basically, like he didn't have he didn't have the concentration and like the balance of mind to like.
He might be the most
deal
strongest
with it, and he might have
person in the world, but his brains aren't there for that. Yeah.
He's not in a state.
I like
of
that.
Mind,
I like that.
And that the only reason why Bruce Banner had mentioned that's got to be him is because of the gamma ray.
Yeah.
Well, he says most of the radiation that the stones are leaking off is gamma radiation,
and he's built
and
for
he's
gamma rays.
built out of gamma. Yeah, so it makes the most sense.
Which is why he used the cliche tag of it's like I was made for this.
And that's the emotional part that didn't land because of the CGI and like I don't know. I'm not hating on it.
I don't even think it's the CGI. I
think that's just poor writing right at that point. I think that was just a bad line.
It felt cheesy.
I think they were just trying to find a
cliche, like you said.
Push.
They wanted to cap it off.
Purpose, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hulk in this area just did not land at all for me.
No. And I don't like those terms. This is why I'm put on this earth to do this, or like this is why I'm. I don't know why I don't like it. I can't form the words.
I will give that Hulk had me when he just kind of whispered, "It's got to be me." Like, I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm.
But the cap off line of it's like I was made for this is dumb. Like I think that was just they turfed out the writing right there.
A good start, and then
but the beginning of that like little bit was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they didn't add that little bit, it would have probably been better.
But
he could have just been like, he could have said so and then trailed off as he walked away with the glove.
Oh, so much more
and left
powerful.
It all up in the air.
So much more powerful. Hell yeah, Aaron. So the choice is Hulk. And then the plan is to snap the fingers and
bring everyone that disappeared 5 years ago back. Not to change anything else, because otherwise, if he changed anything else, that endangers Tony Stark's daughter. So the trick is everyone that disappeared 5 years ago comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Thanos would still be a problem and all of that, but it just they'll at least bring everybody back.
Right.
Yeah, and at this point, they use it, they wield it, and that's when Nebula goes and sneaks off to go fucking do her shit, and then
she dicks around with the coordinates on the time machine.
As Jason Lee so elegantly put it, she fingered the computer.
Hell yeah.
Finger banged it real good.
Very fancy if you move it right. You gotta know how to use it. And then the beauty of the confirmation of the snap from Hulk mission accomplished moment is Laura's phone call to Hawkeye's phone. Like,
oh yeah,
that I thought that was a fucking great choice.
I legit forgot about that for a second because I watched a few minutes after about an hour 55 last time, so I just picked up where I left off. So I was 3 minutes ahead of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd forgotten it, but yes, I remember the phone call now, and that is the something worked.
It fucking gives me chills.
No one else knows that it's worked except for Hawkeye.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty part.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I keep thinking of these Infinity Stones as a goddamn genie wish. And I just keep thinking, oh, well, how many times can they wish something or snap their fingers and get what they want, kind of thing?
Depends on who you are, because if you're Tony, once.
Right, but the amount of damage that it does, it really is kind of like a 3 wishes, except you just got to eliminate to 1, and if you're gonna risk it, you might get 2,
right?
Like Thanos did. But who knows what's gonna happen after?
Well, as long as you wish those stones to be in good condition, you're good to go for life.
I think you got to wish for yourself to be in good condition.
Because I'm assuming that
Tony, it's all about the person who's wielding it is all the power.
But I thought that too when they Hulk snaps, the fucking gauntlet's damaged. He's all fucked up. And then all of a sudden,
was the gauntlet damaged or was he just fucked up?
See, it just like the actual armor of the gauntlet, I think you might say, is fucking. Yeah.
Does it get
damaged? But maybe the stones aren't. So
the stones aren't.
I didn't
remember the gauntlet being fucked up. I
don't think the gauntlet is for the second time.
I know I'm jumping ahead, but like now that Tim mentioned the 3 the genies and the wishes, fucking the gauntlet would have been destroyed. Like whatever Tony built in that fucking mechanism would have been destroyed. It probably went to work. Or is the stones power that shit?
But I mean, his suit is nanite technology, and he has the schematics already loaded into the computer. He can probably recreate it on the armor that he's wearing.
Fair enough,
because that piece was a separate piece, so he can probably recreate it in his actual armor.
Well, and if you want to take it from towards the end of the film, where you see his armor, it is basically destroyed. So, but it's still like partially intact. So, if anything, it should still be usable. But
his armor is destroyed because of the explosion.
The gauntlet's not even the main.
Yeah. Sorry,
what got damaged the most?
Hulk's arm is really fucked up.
Oh yeah, his whole arm.
Yeah, like all the way up his arm, his shoulder, like up into his neck.
And the rest of the time, like it looks like he lost meat, like it was fried, like he just stuck it in a goddamn deep fryer.
Well, anytime you fry meat, it tends to shrink.
No shit.
You're a cook, you know this.
So is that why Iron Man did he freeze his arm like Iron Man like froze Hulk's arm?
What the hell?
To save it.
Yeah, he probably put like an antiseptic and stuff like that.
On fire.
All right.
Yeah, it was on fire, and like that's probably all open wound. So we probably sprayed some sort of antiseptic and like
something to
liquid Band-Aid almost or something like that.
Hell yeah.
A very high-tech liquid Band-Aid.
I mean, if you want to go back to Resident Evil, first aid spray, be my guess.
Oh, Iron Man super glue.
There you go. You could sell that and make billions. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Already billionaire.
You get some of that with the ice cream.
This scene was pretty important because we get what do we get? We get like basically 3 major things that we see in this section, in this part of the film. And that is the betrayal.
Yep.
You know, it's not really a betrayal. It's the evil one doing evil things.
The big reveal.
You get
reveal
the snap.
Yeah.
The
first
actual snap. And then we get the conclusive it worked.
Yeah.
Side of the snap.
Yeah.
And then
those are really the 3 things that are major.
It's followed by a rain of fire by Thanos. And
this was
cool.
I think this was one of the scenes that when you see Hawkeye and he answers the phone or whatever, and then Paul Rudd, you know, when Ant-Man goes or to the window and you see the birds, there was something so beautifully haunting about the whisper,
the silence,
the oh guys, I think it worked. And he's just
ambiance.
You know, he's just staring in awe.
Yep.
And then there's just that fucking explosion.
And he just says,
he just gets picked back.
Hey, guys, I think you got to see this.
I think it's the juxtaposition of like the hope that the silence and the birds signify with the explosion. That's what makes the scene work, because it just
so fucking powerful.
They collide so hard. Yeah.
You get a little sense of, you get the phone call and then you get the birds, and birds chirping can be a sensation of peace. So you get that, and then you get a little. You get tricks, so maybe
the music drops out, and like you have just that calming sort of white noise, and like the birds chirping, but like there's that the drone in the background, like the white noise that kind of just accompanies it, and then
bam,
and then they just
Avengers Tower done.
I mean, Avengers compound. That's the compound.
But that scene. That's the first initial moment where we get this massive battle. Is that one missile?
It pops off
the ship and it's a silent too, because he just looks out the window and he just sees this ball of light coming at him. And then we get the second missile where we actually get the first view hitting the compound. But it was just that, like you said, it was that there's something very haunting and almost beautiful, but just so powerful about that explosion where he just
Thanos is a badass villain at this part of this movie. He just shoots before asking questions, and his arrival is so epic. The way he appears.
Well, my statement would be
epic.
I thought so, with the music and the teleportation, and I don't know. Yeah, it could have just been
with his uncolorful version of the Bifrost.
Nice.
It's literally just a one color Bifrost. It's the same animation.
I don't know. I thought it was cool in the way he sat down and was like, "I'm just gonna wait. Bring me the stones."
That part is stone cold, and I think that's cool. But like, I think what's really cool is this is where Thanos becomes a true villain.
Yes.
Like before he was sympathetic and he had a reasoning that like you could understand. This is where he changes gears and becomes like an actual villain that you have to hate.
You hate him and you hope he dies.
Yeah. So before we move on to the big battle, because that's coming right up. So far, what purpose did we get from each of these characters? Why did we get them? I mean, we don't have to necessarily go through each of them, but the ones that we know had a certain purpose.
Oh, you mean the three? The big three?
There's basically just three. Yeah, I feel like there's basically the
Iron
three
Man, Captain America, go and confront Thanos. I thought those were the right choice characters.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're obviously the right choices.
It's an easy choice.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. You're moving ahead.
You have, I mean, Thor basically is a redemption arc. Thor's looking to just redeem himself because you got from before, like when he called Mjolnir when he's in the past, he doesn't think he's worthy anymore.
Yeah.
Like he thinks he failed. I mean, even Rocket says, which he did, but I mean, everyone else did too.
And I think that was the moment of hope, that spark that reignited his hope going, okay, I'm still worthy. He had Mjolnir. So like I'm still worthy. It means I haven't failed.
Yeah. I haven't completely failed. It can be fixed.
Yeah.
Like
so absolutely. I agree.
So it's a redemption arc for Thor.
Yeah.
Cap is doing his Cap thing where like he's standing up for what is right, and good.
Right.
What he believes is the right thing. And Tony,
but he's not doing his Cap thing, at least in the second part.
Right.
He doesn't pull his Cap thing, his Cap.
Oh yeah, he's not being goody about it, but he's doing but
he's not being his typical Cap, is like, because in all the other shit that we see, he has something he has to say. He always says something. He always has some response. This is like the first time that he has the lack of dialogue. He gets one good speech, and that's about it. And then
he says like one thing during Thanos' little monologue. He's like a future born of blood. Or something like that.
Yep. This is the moment where there's no more talk. It's all
this is actions speak louder than words.
And Cap knows that shit. He has tried every other angle up to this point. Now it's time to fucking fight and to the death.
Absolutely.
And Cap.
But what were you saying, Aaron?
And I mean, and Tony, all Tony sees is the future. Like Tony's there for his kid and the future that ensures she grows up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, I mean, and Tony has always been not short-sighted, and he's not, but he's narrow of focus.
Yeah, we talked about this during the Iron Man films, I believe, or maybe even the Avengers.
Oh, absolutely. His character arc.
Ultron, I think we definitely hit on it.
Yeah. He doesn't he looks at big picture, and then he looks at what's in front of him. but he doesn't really look at the steps that take to get to.
Yeah,
this.
he wants point A to point B. He doesn't give a shit what's in between.
Yes,
and I my hand from the microphone.
And he's always concerned in how it affects him. Like he's thinking about others, but him and first and foremost, which you can't blame him. I mean, every smart person.
Not in this one. I mean, this is all about his kid. I mean, and how it affects him. So I mean, you can't really blame him on this one.
No, and this one is the moment where he shifts that gear and he does think more about other people. Like this is that moment where he goes, and we get that a little bit later, but we get the understanding that it's either he wins or he doesn't.
Yeah. It's nothing.
He basically pulled the whole Thor thing.
Yeah.
He's just using a little bit more of this and a little less.
Well, he never forgot the fucking conversation with Doctor Strange. There's only one way to win.
Yeah, and it's like it haunts him. It eats him alive.
Exactly,
so he's got to make sure that this is it.
He's tried all this prevention taxes, all this shit, and it's a fucking wizard. I don't know the moment he just believes it, and he doesn't know what it means, but he knows he's gonna live up to it when he has the chance.
Well, and it also comes down to the fact that he is a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
So he believes
he's a logical person.
Yes. So he wants answers, and if he needs, he's gonna go looking for answers. He's gonna find answers. Doctor Strange didn't give him an answer, so. It just haunts him, and it just eats him alive. Going, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is this it?
It's right.
Because what did Doctor Strange say? Like, I went through like
14
million different outcomes, and there was only one outcome where we win.
One, yeah.
And even what did he say when he bring it up later?
Like, no, don't go there yet.
Yeah, he's like, if I can't tell you, yeah. Oh, yeah, I cried in front of my child over this movie a couple times.
That was, did we talk about all of them? Oh, the Hulk? What was the Hulk? What was his main purpose?
Apparently nothing special by the tone of your fucking voice.
There wasn't anything special at all. He was a buffer character and comedic relief. That's really all he was. Like
he snapped. I don't know.
His whole purpose was just to be able to wield the gauntlet. That was it.
Yeah.
That was all his purpose.
Because I mean, or to hold up the building to save Rhodey and fucking Rocket, and like when the building collapsed. But even that wasn't that big a deal.
And he still needed saving.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit when Rocket spooked or startled Tony when he was like being all careful and creating his Iron Man gauntlet or whatever the Infinity Stones. I laughed my ass off. You guys didn't see it? It's a very small moment.
Oh, maybe I missed it.
I shouldn't have brought it up, but it's just a Rocket character personality trait.
Right.
It was awesome because they were just so careful and whatever, and you just go, boop. Yeah, it just fucks with them.
It was just a little blip, but yeah.
I kind of remember it
because his character is just why so serious, even in the most serious circumstances.
What did we get from Clint?
Oh shit! This is before the destruction of the compound.
What was his purpose?
Or after?
Well, Clint is. I mean, I think realistically, all throughout this, Clint is the hope of the movie.
Yeah, he's the vocal point.
I mean, but
like all the emotion.
Not even vocal or whatever, but he Hawkeye's purpose. I feel like he was the one that he was used to show that there was hope.
Yeah.
Like he was the hope character. I mean, Tony obviously has his designs on hoping something works, but like him, Thor, and Cap are all very like almost fatalistically dialed into just finishing this.
Mm-hmm.
Clint has, that's something to live for. He's got that family. Not that, Tony isn't trying to live for his daughter, but like I think Tony in that respect knows that he may not make it back.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, Hawkeye already lost his family and then he got him back.
Yeah, and then you see that right before the explosion, like they picked up. So
Clint is, I think, a messenger of hope.
Yes.
Because it's not really that he has any signification of like, hey, he's hopeful, because he's really not.
Right.
But he has that, he was the messenger that said, hey, this is what we got, and in that moment that they needed to signify that, oh, it worked. That's what we saw.
That scene alone, that scene basically shows that Hope is not dead.
Yeah.
That there's there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Either.
Right.
The fact that he didn't stop doing whatever he needed to do, to, I guess, get that hope. But he wasn't like hopeful at the same time. He wasn't going around saying, "Come on, guys, let's do this."
Oh, he wasn't. He couldn't even believe it when he saw the phone.
Hope doesn't even have to be cheery. Like hope, it's tropish to think that when you talk about hope, it's like it's a positive, bright thing. Sometimes hope is like
not when it's the last hope.
Hope is what gets you pushed through a battle. Sometimes hope is it's the end. That just the hope that like suffering will end or like the pain will end. That's hope.
It's the final chance.
Yeah, and that's what we got from Clint for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that was basically. I think that kind of rounds everything out to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
What we need now. So like.
Fix his iPad or whatever the fuck he has.
The internet's probably not working on it.
No, he's playing Sonic and he's stuck on the level. He wants me to help him.
Oh, well, when you get it figured out on that, you can come figure it out on my Switch.
I wish you could ignore your son because we're working, but we're not getting paid. So it's a weird spot.
Listen here, passive aggressive Barbie.
When the whole compound goes down and we see Thanos and he sits down, he talks to Nebula about.
He sends Nebula off to go find the stones, and she goes, "What are you gonna do?" And he sits down. And he says, "Wait."
Wait.
Yeah, bring me the stones. I'm gonna wait. Like a badass. Like I don't know. It was simple, but I liked it.
This next moment after that, when the three come out and they see him sitting there, this is where you get the monologue that shows that Thanos has turned into an actual villain versus a sympathetic like anti-hero kind of role.
He's got 2 speeches in this fucking third act that just like solidifies his like
that he's evil.
Me as an audience watcher, he's got to go.
Yeah. And this is the point where when they're walking up, you have Thor, Captain America, and Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And they made.
Why do we call him Tony Stark as opposed to Iron Man?
Iron Man? I don't know. We
do that
he's
so
always
much.
back and forth. It's one and the same, I guess.
I think we get more of Tony than we do Iron Man and his character arc. Like there's so much
at least in this
personal
movie,
shit going on.
Yeah.
And like personal deep struggle. Like
he also
really
always
feel
says that
shit.
he is Iron Man. So I mean I guess it works.
Well,
it was like a speech thing I noticed.
No, yeah.
It's okay. We do a circle. We call everybody by their actor, by the character, and then by their alter ego. All in the same.
This is valid.
Iron Stark.
Iron Stark Jr.
He's pretty tough by now, so
right.
But they basically commit at this point. Those 3 commit that it's either it's all or nothing.
This is the end. This is it.
The moment Thor says it could be a trap, and Iron Stark's like, I don't care. This whatever is facing us,
we're on the same page.
That fucking yes.
Yeah, they say like, where are the stones? Like, well, somewhere underneath all this. Like, well, we make sure he doesn't get them.
We're so deep into this motherfucking scenario. There's no being careful. It's
no
fucking
turning back.
Kamikaze.
Yep. This is that moment, and this is what I love about that scene. I could care less about the flashy like pump up, Thor turning into Thor. I actually I love Thor, I really do, but his whole facade in this in this last end section was so cheesy.
It seemed a little petty. I don't know why, but it was
it just didn't land for me. I didn't care for it.
Thor's best moments in this movie are when he's talking to his mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are his best moments. The rest of this movie,
power. Yes.
The rest of the movie, Thor is I struggled not to say garbage character, but
there's one
he's
more.
He's a joke.
But I'll wait till we get there. But
Yeah, we talked about that last episode. He's just a joke. But
yeah,
and this,
but yeah, the bits with his mom are the only thing.
But
he's regaining his redemption a little bit. This is the moment where we see he's going to try to redeem himself, or he's going to die try.
Right.
So like, and he
does that. It just didn't come across as powerful as I think they meant it to be. And I agree with you, Tim.
And that's just it fell flat.
Yeah, most definitely.
But the one that I loved was Captain America from this moment. And he was not my favorite by any means. But this is the moment where I'm like, fuck yeah, I was rooting for him 100%.
Than
anybody else, even more than Tony Stark. I just the way that Captain went in there.
Yeah.
And just that I can do this all day mentality without saying
he did. Yes.
Was all he needed.
The fight scene is great, and then when you get to the point where he saves Thor, and you see that he's wielding Mjolnir, and Thor kind of goes, "I knew it,
dude."
That was
in the theaters.
I remember this in theaters.
The crowd cheered.
Yes.
I was a part of that cheering.
I was too,
and I'm not even like that's not even my thing.
And
I couldn't help myself.
It's so cool because at that point, Captain America handles Thanos on his own.
Oh god, yeah.
Like handles him until Thanos gets one good shot in, but like he legit handles him for a good 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He holds his own pretty damn well for being a human.
And that's
just a souped up human, but he's fucking human.
But the beauty of it is like how well he did with the lightning and the hammer and all that shit. He was so focused on the fucking mission and like the goal in mind. Like there's everything we've been saying. He is that laser focused and making this work.
He was out to destroy. He was out to end it.
Yeah.
We saw every
talking.
everything he did. Yeah.
No
everything
more compromise, negotiating. It's fuck you, Thanos. You got to go.
Yep. And we saw that.
Yeah.
And that's
helped with that sequence, with that powerful battle.
Cap won me over. Just instantly, he walked out in that field, and he was just like, "Let's do this. I can do this all day."
Yeah, without saying it, I love
it. And you heard, and in that scene, in that part where after Thanos has like broken most of his shield and like stabbed him at least once, like he gets up and he tightens the shield, and like you could hear. He never says it, but you can hear, "I can do this all day."
Yeah, exactly.
Floating through the air.
And then I they cut to Thanos' reaction, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing getting up? Like, I don't see this very often.
Right?
Somebody beaten so down, and you're getting up. Like,
and this was
I like that. Also not said, but just
we get the second Thanos speech. What does he say about
all my conquest, all the worlds I've conquered? It's never been personal.
Violence and slaughter.
But it's never been personal. But what I'm going to do to your tiny, annoying little planet, I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Since I'm
that was
dummy,
that moment.
Yeah.
That just solidified
that he's evil. He's gone full bad.
Yep. But he has a new plan compared to his last plan because he's a different Thanos. But
because he knows better.
He's the old Thanos.
Yeah. Well, whatever. But is his new plan to
Thanos.
take credit of rebuilding the world?
No, his plan is to
somehow be a hero.
His plan is to rip everything down to the atoms.
He's gonna
recreate it to a point where everything is fine to get into what his idea of paradise is.
He's going straight Genesis.
So it went
it's a new
further
Genesis.
than 50%. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's everything.
He's saying that the people that live there will know what they've been given.
Yeah.
And they'll be grateful for it.
Know where they come from.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily that's the line of like, world born of blood. That's Captain America's line. He was like, they won't know about it.
Yep.
Thanos isn't looking for credit. He just knows that they will be thankful for what he's done. And that's good enough for him.
Fair enough. The leverage he has, the fucking, I don't know.
Which if it wasn't for his pettiness about the planet.
Yep.
You could almost get behind the justification that he still holds. that calculation prior about him wanting to balance out the universe, he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has to be the one to do it, to make those decisions, is where it drifts into a gray black area.
I saw this weird little meme or Tumblr post or something, and it was talking about Marvel villains essentially being that you know, a lot of the Marvel villains, like, they have good points. So it's somewhere along the lines in the movie they have to do something to make you go, oh no, I can't agree with that guy anymore.
Yeah.
And they use Killmonger from Black Panther as that example. Like, oh, you kind of agree with him up to the point where he just starts shooting people for no reason. Like, he kills his girlfriend and kills, Claw, and then all of a sudden he goes sideways.
Yeah.
But up until then, like, you could kind of agree with what he was wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same shit here. Like, you understood, and like he was not wrong. It was his the way he goes about it is the problem.
Yeah.
Actions.
It's a well-known Marvel villain format.
Yeah. It's a relatable villain. I think it makes it more personal. I think we've talked about this. Like, we like our villains to be someone we can relate to some degree.
Marvel loves to humanize their villains.
Yeah. I was just saying, you said that last episode. And absolutely. This is the moment though where we see that he's just a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you that one conversation, that one sentence that he said, switch gears from, oh, nope, I don't relate to that. I don't like what he said.
He was stuck on the point of making the point of you and you motherfuckers' arrogance and your stubbornness. This is your own doing. Like, how do you guys feel about that part of his speech?
It became personal. Like, he said it. No, he literally had just said, like, I never took it personal.
It was never a personal thing for me until now.
Yeah,
like, when I'm going to do this planet.
Yeah, the point that he has to make an opinion about these people being annoying, which is a personal.
Yes.
Yep.
He
refers to it as an
that's how I felt.
Planet.
They were pests, and he just wanted to fucking
get rid of them.
Bug spray or whatever's happening to Aram's apartment right now.
That was yesterday or Friday.
But how that moment, we were talking about the hammer. We were talking about that Captain America receives the hammer, and I agree with that. Everybody in theaters went, oh, and started cheering. I was right there with it. Still, though, just still watching this. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, but watching it just a couple hours ago, seeing that scene, I still just got that chill. Yeah.
And it helps when
it just pumped me up.
It helps when Thor goes, I knew it.
Right before he gets kicked in the face.
It adds to it. Exactly. Everything is so. Did we skip the part where Gamora and Nebula become sisters really fast? Yeah, they become allies really fast. In like one paragraph.
Which is fine, but Gamora's always been against Thanos.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Like,
very true.
She starts out Guardians of the Galaxy 1 against Thanos.
Yep.
The problem was Nebula.
And you're right. Gamora always wanted to be sisters with Nebula, but Nebula was the fucking stubborn one.
No, Nebula wanted to be sisters with Gamora, but Gamora being
we learned that in Volume 2.
Volume 2, Gamora was the one that was always winning. So Nebula had to always be worked on. So and Gamora admits that it was all about survival. She didn't consider Nebula's feelings and how it affected her. Gamora has always been a guy.
You're right. I got it back.
In fairness, though, if Nebula doesn't say anything, how the fuck is she supposed to know? As far as Gamora is concerned, it's just a combatant mentality.
It's just the fucking Nebula's inner monologue.
Yeah, Nebula always acts cold as far as I can tell. So I mean, like, you wouldn't know that
fighting
she's
with her inner self. Yeah. All right.
But no, so this new version of Nebula is basically on the same wavelength as far as like trying to stop Thanos as Gamora is. So they see a way to work together.
Yeah.
Because she's like, what happens to us in the future?
Yeah.
Like, well, I try to kill you a number of times, and then we become friends, and then we become sisters.
Yeah. Then she says nothing, just reaches out a hand like, let's go fucking take down Dad.
Yeah, she found an ally.
And honestly, not that it wasn't.
I had no problem with it. It just happened really fast.
And it really didn't serve a big purpose. because we already knew. Like, we already knew where everything sat.
Honestly, the only purpose it
like
served
a refresh almost
for Quill.
The only purpose it served was to not kill Nebula off.
Yeah.
Oh, so Nebula can kill herself later?
Yeah, essentially. Like it deals with the traitorous version of Nebula, and it doesn't kill the character off because I'm sure she might be in a contract somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess part of the reason why we didn't even think about bringing it up is because it really didn't serve
it's a throwaway scene. It really doesn't do anything.
You could take it or you could leave it. Like, it was fine that they had it, but it wasn't a big.
Just as my point is, it was fast. I want to make this part of our conversation fast about it as well.
Other than saving Hawkeye, that scene served no purpose.
Which I loved. Yeah. I love that fucking the triangle of what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I just love Hawkeye's like, oh, I know you.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
And Zara's like, wait, what?
And then
she's like, father.
Yeah. That was a pretty smooth transition and realization type of moment for Hawkeye, and how they chose to make that happen.
Did anybody feel like that tunnel scene felt like a goddamn horror movie?
A little bit.
It wasn't.
It was probably just because of the red lights, the tight spot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and then monsters coming down a tunnel. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then for like a split second, Hawkeye turned into Batman. When he fired the grappling hook and then hooked it to his belt. And I was like, is he fucking Batman right now?
I mean, basically.
He has always been just, no mask.
We'll talk about it eventually, but I mean, they use that sort of tunnel scene a lot better in the next Doctor Strange movie.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Back to the Cap having the hammer. Iron Man took hammer damage. Iron Man took Thor's hammer damage. Yes, he got knocked out, but like, I don't know.
That's not the first time he's taken a shot from Thor's hammer, though.
Oh yeah, I suppose. But the way this is a much stronger impact than the last few times, but it just shows how strong that fucking suit is. Yeah. How strong he's fucking developed.
I mean, the suit's probably got built in, like, he knows Thor well enough at this point. He probably has like contingencies in place.
Exactly. It just shows the suit arc and how strong it's become. It's kind of a fucking, I don't know.
One thing that I haven't decided if I like or not is you have Thor's axe and then you have the hammer existing together in the same moment. And the one thing we know about the hammer is only the worthy can wield it.
Yeah.
So all he really have to do is just plop it on Thanos, like he's done on Loki, like he did on the Hulk. He could have just plopped it on Thanos and just try to get one sweep and plop it right on him.
Damn.
And it would have solved everything.
Damn.
And then the axe was right there. You could have just chopped off the head.
That's true. But that's not a 3-hour movie.
That's not how you tell a fucking compelling story. That's the way to make it too simplified and end too soon.
But one thing that
you're not wrong.
One thing that kind of I struggled with was, and it's not like a bad thing. I just like go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Was when Thanos grabs his axe and shoves it back into Thor's chest.
That was
I was like, well, if it was the hammer, that wouldn't have not have been a thing.
Right. Yeah.
That was my only thing. Is like, well, if he had the hammer, this wouldn't.
That's because Stormbreaker was created. Stormbreaker was created in haste. It wasn't made with any planning in place.
It wasn't an enchanted hammer.
And when Thor said, "You take the little guy, Captain America," he's just making another bad decision, as he's been doing this whole movie.
A little bit, and then that's what kind of bothered me. But
that scene with the Thanos and the
Captain anyway.
Oh fuck yeah, it was way more fun.
Well, and Stormbreaker is much more of a two-handed weapon. I mean, you can't wield a shield and Stormbreaker at the same time.
Yeah,
and I agree, Aaron. It's a comedic big telephone.
Cap did do it pretty well.
It's always too big.
What was that?
Cap did do it pretty well because he was fighting with Stormbreaker for a hot couple minutes.
Oh yeah, Cap's the shit.
Yeah,
he's more worthy than
that's not the point.
Right.
Yeah, we got this big fight and it was good. It was good, but we also, I think, Jason, you said this before,
I hope so.
maybe the last episode. or another episode about Thanos, we get to see how badass Thanos really is, how quick and how fast and prominent.
Yeah.
His punches, his movements, like as monstrous as a being as he is.
He's a Mike Tyson, agile or something, Muhammad Ali or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
I think you're looking for Muhammad Ali. He was the one that was floating like a butterfly.
Yeah, but he's Bruce built
Lee.
like Tyson.
He's Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali. Anyways, he knows what the fuck he's doing.
He's
and
dangerous.
He's powerful.
And you see that he's powerful. And to watch this battle and realize that they were getting some hits on him, but when he took off that hammer or his helmet, I mean, when from the blows, and it just broke, and there's like he's barely even scratched, not even breathing that hard. It just shows you that he doesn't even need the fucking armor.
Right.
It's precautionary more than anything.
Yeah. It's just, oh God. And the blade that he wields too. Man.
That dual blade.
Yeah, he's super proficient. Like,
well, he had to be the way he twirls it around to block those fucking laser beams in that one shot.
And when he uses it as a fucking boomerang.
Yeah. For sure.
But after this, man, it just blows up.
We get the Thanos damn near defeating Cap, and then we get On Your Left from Sam.
Yep.
Which changes everything.
The earpiece. Yeah, that's right.
That shit.
Well, before that, you have Thanos calling his army down after his little monologue about enjoying what he's going to do to the planet.
Thank you,
So
Aaron.
Thanos calls his army down, and then you have Cap ready to face him by himself.
And that's the beauty of Cap getting up. He saw all the enemies and still said, I can do this all day.
Without saying a fucking thing.
So
it's beautiful.
Sam on your left, that whole moment, the way they built into it, very heartwarming. It just warms my heart every fucking time.
I got a little choked up at this point.
A moment of hope.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like hope that they're gonna win. It was that they're not gonna do this alone.
Oh, we got an extra chance. I thought we had our last chance and we got one more maybe.
Yep. And it came unexpectedly. Like you had no idea. And it was
because Hawkeye at this point is the only person that knows that it worked.
True.
Yep.
Very true.
I think the Sam connection worked. I like that.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
All the portals opening up and stuff, and you get, Black Panther from Wakanda, and you get his whole army. Each of them had their sections.
Oh yeah.
That they were coming out, like Titan, it was Drax and Star-Lord and Mantis and Spider-Man coming from Titan.
And Doctor Strange,
Yeah. I thought that was brilliant because it's where they died. It's where they disappeared.
Exactly.
It was so appropriate.
Oh,
I just like that they stuck with that. The consistency, you know what I mean?
All of this, after what we just said, everything you just said is such a beautiful build-up to Captain America saying, Avengers assemble. Like that fucking hits home too. Because the way they slow motion, they showed those photo shots or those of all these people we've come to love throughout these 20 movies.
And that moment of Avengers assemble, and he didn't have to fucking yell. He just did it quietly and aggressively, just assemble. Like I think that
it was
it was powerful.
Way more meaningful instead of like yelling it like a war cry.
Yeah.
It was
Kevin Marvel's not here yet.
Yeah, I agree. Like it was, he didn't need to say it out loud. Everybody felt it to the bone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if I'd been there, I'd have been ready to fight.
Yeah.
Watching it, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even talking about it, I get chills.
Just the way he said it. And then we basically get a full on.
Well, it's an army shot.
Clash.
Like it's Clash the Armies.
That shit's cool. I don't fucking care. I like that shit. It couldn't have looked better unless Zack Snyder did it, but it looked awesome. it was powerful.
I had one problem with one spot, but otherwise I loved it.
What was it?
Well, it's in a little bit because we've got to talk about
so now
the late arrival to the fucking thing.
So now we go through the sequence of catching up with blipped characters. Yep. Spider-Man, Valkyrie, dialogue catching up, like inside jokes and rehab. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, Spider-Man running up to hug Iron Man when he season. He's like he goes in the weird fucking like.
Let me remind you, that hugs the shit because Homecoming, Peter tried to do it, and Iron Stark said, "We're not there yet." Yep. They're definitely there now.
The door. We're not there yet.
I thought of that scene when
I didn't, but that's actually really good. I like that.
That's why they did it the way they did it.
That's what these this next series of interactions are. They're like paying homage to these connections and inside jokes or something. There's a better way to say it, but I can't find it.
Yeah, they're reminding you.
Yeah. Yes.
That
these people are connected.
The connection. These people, like what they're doing, the purpose that the connections have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Spider-Man and Robert Downey Jr., the Iron Man and Spider-Man concept is perfect because he said what when he was hugging him? What's happening? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Because the blip.
That's nice.
He's not aware of what's happening for real. He's just like, hey, I took a nap. I woke up, and here I am.
I just remember.
I
just remember like the last hug you see Tony give is like when he's rescued from space, and the first thing he says to Cap is, "I lost the kid."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah.
And that's the beautiful. It was a really beautiful moment that Tony Stark just hugs him. He just
happened.
Not saying anything. He doesn't say hi. Yeah. He's how are you?
They
how
did
was
it
dead? He just went nothing.
Yeah, it was a very quick scene, and it
worked.
It meant
but it
a
said
lot.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I didn't care for Ant-Man and Wasp's connection. I thought that was silly.
That's fine.
I have no
this
recollection.
Is how we feel about Ant-Man and Wasp in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody else coming in, it was fine. They all, had their purpose.
I'm curious why Valkyrie can hear Tony Stark or Captain America. Somebody's like, "Hey, anybody see that fucking?"
Because she's a Valkyrie.
But
she's awesome.
Yeah. Okay,
I think that was the Valkyrie's roles. Valkyries were in Norse mythology. Were supposed to pick up the dead warriors, bring them to Valhalla. So I'm pretty sure they have like preternatural like hearing and.
I'm sold. I'm sold. I thought they all had like.
You just think everybody blipped back with comms?
Like, yeah, exactly. I was like, no, stop it. But you're right, Aaron. My bad.
Think. I will it.
I mean, she's riding a Pegasus. I don't know what else we want to fucking deal with on that.
Right? Mythical creature, mythical being.
Shit. I don't know how to have fun.
Your answer's right there.
Logical.
I don't know how to have fun.
So the next one I'm going to mention is Captain. I almost said Captain America. Captain Marvel's arrival.
Oh, you had a problem.
With that, yeah.
No, actually,
of the football gauntlet game.
This actual whole like her destroying the ship was cool. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a moment.
What I had a problem with.
I don't know. I thought it was a repeat. She did that shit already.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't matter.
But it was fine. But what I had a problem with
timing was impeccable, and they gave him one extra chance. All right, Aaron.
The next bit is what I had a problem with.
Peter
when
Parker?
It became girl power. All the female heroines jumped together. Like they decided. I was like,
when they all entered the shot. When they all.
What'd you say, Tim?
I said, I don't know how they're going to make it through that.
Oh, yeah.
When she just ran through a fucking ship, and she goes through a bunch of them on her own anyway.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't need it
without. It wasn't exactly. And the way they did the shot where all these ladies just enter the scene, it was so forced for such a purpose.
And it was
already. So
pandering. And they already did that.
So pandering.
Yes.
I agree.
Pandering.
100%. I had a problem with that too.
Word.
Especially because of what you said, she doesn't need anybody's help.
Yeah,
no, she goes through a bunch of the big things on her own.
She took the football. She took the football from Peter Parker and ran through a whole. Yep. She made a lot of yards.
Yeah, that weird like exchange was like she was like looking at Peter with this really weird fucking look.
Well,
maybe that's
Brie Larson.
That might just be the way Brie Larson looks.
Yeah,
but
she's like can't convey emotion.
Weird to me.
And when she tries to be like sarcastic or funny, it doesn't. I don't know. It's more awkward than anything.
But
yeah, we got the football game going on.
Right. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good way to just kind
all
of
fine.
move it forward. Yeah. But
well, yeah, and you
I
get
also,
the interaction between each little character, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I also was like,
earn their paychecks.
I just felt like you're throwing little, like you said, you're throwing little characters in there just to push them away. You know, like just enough to get a little bit, and then you're like, oh, let's move on to the next one. And this is the issue you get with like big pictures like this with a lot of, what do you call it, talent. Is you got to make a little bit of time for everybody, and this was that moment where we get a little bit of time of everybody.
That's what exactly. These big talent people, they had to earn their paychecks, so they had to squeeze them in.
Because we get to see the kinetic energy boost from Black Panther, which was kind of cool. Because we didn't really get a lot of that before.
Yeah,
and this time he's just like getting hit, and he's just in a shockwave, and cool.
Hell yeah.
And then
you do get the really cool scene between Scarlet Witch and Thanos.
Yes,
that was that was a dope scene.
Is this before or after Captain Marvel?
This is after. This
was it after?
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's after.
Okay, so Captain Marvel,
because
do you like her?
Well, when Scarlet Witch is dealing with him, that's when he says rain fire.
Yes. Okay,
so maybe, yeah. So I believe that's after the Captain Marvel bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be before.
I don't remember. I was thinking it was.
No, it might be before.
I felt like it was.
It might be before. You're right. But that scene I thought was dope.
Yes.
Like Wanda, and that cold ass fucking line of like,
you took everything from me,
and him going, I don't even know you. Like,
and she's like, well,
shades of Street Fighter.
She should have said. She should have said with a response, I don't even know you. She should have said, well, you're gonna.
Yeah.
She did. She says you will. Yeah, she says you will.
Yeah, she said. Well, what the fuck, Tim? She said exactly that. Apparently, you're not gonna remember, but
no, that's totally a Street. That's a Street Fighter scene when like Chun-Li is explaining like why she hates Bison. He's like, to you that was the worst day of your life. To me, that was a Tuesday. Like literally the same scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene maybe, literally and Bison and Chun-Li, I think.
To me, it was just a Tuesday.
But yeah, the Wanda fight scene was better than Captain Marvel's, and Captain Marvel's peak part of that fight scene was the headbutt. I enjoyed the headbutt.
And see, and I liked the Captain Marvel fight scene. I thought that
when she actually fought Thanos, that was good.
That's what I'm saying. But Wanda's
shows you
better,
how powerful she really is. But the problem I can agree with you from the Captain Marvel episode, Aram. If she has this whole, or maybe it was Jason, I don't remember. Maybe it was both of you. If she has this power, why the fuck isn't she using it?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and realistically, she's powered by one of the Infinity Stones. Why can't she wear the gauntlet?
Well, she probably can.
She wasn't there.
She was trying to grab it.
Yeah.
Like, she was carrying it.
Well, at one point though, she was trying to slide her hand, like not just grab it. It looked like she was trying to shove her fist in there to grab it.
Yeah, but I mean, the second she took it from Peter, she could have just put it on.
She could have, but
my god,
but again, that's not a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
we got two ways to end this movie too soon so far,
right? And then they would have been over,
done.
Right?
Nobody else had to die.
All right, so we got this big. Tim, you got a question or anything?
No. So the point after the Captain Marvel thing, and we move on to the, I don't know, you basically get more fighting, just everybody. But the quantum, the van, right?
Yeah.
That whole, what was the purpose? Touchdown. Why did they want to bring the quantum?
Because they want, as soon as they use the stones, they got to put them back where they found them. Right? Was that what it was?
Actually, no, you mentioned
wasn't it the second they used the stones, they were going to go put them back right where they found them?
Because the compound was destroyed, they had no way of getting back.
They were trying to
point. Yeah,
they were trying to save and preserve the van.
The timelines.
They wanted
They needed to preserve the timelines.
What was the point of like hitting the alarm
to find
like
it?
a beacon to find?
To find it.
Why?
Because that's when Cap goes, does anybody see a dingy
make sure it doesn't
van?
Get destroyed.
Yeah, because it's the only way they can get into the quantum realm. It's the only like portal right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And my I guess issue with it is logically it makes sense. Given the situation, that seems like
Well, to be fair,
so
they needed
much
something
that-
for Ant-Man and Wasp to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like, why would you do that then when you're
Yeah.
not even close to finishing line?
That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you don't even know where the finishing line is, and yet you're trying to get a little, excited about it.
Right.
Or premature.
Well, and then they're like, oh, how long do you need to like fix it and get it started? He's like, 10 minutes, and then that doesn't fucking even matter.
No.
It didn't matter. Yeah.
None of it. Yeah.
So that was the issue I had.
Again,
and that's why I wanted to say,
Ant-Man
what
and
was the
Wasp
point?
needed something to do.
Yeah,
That's all it is. They needed a moment for
exactly
themselves.
Earn their paychecks.
Yeah, because they didn't serve any purpose.
Well, no, not at all.
So yeah, we have all this football shit and this action shit, which is entertaining and whatnot, and we have our gripes. But then we get into crying moments.
Yeah, you have basically after Captain Marvel can't fight off Thanos and he gets the gauntlet, you see Tony's kind of laid out and he looks over at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange goes and just holds up one finger.
When I fucking tear up every time. Oh, not the first time, I guess, but
I didn't tear up at that, but like that's when
I don't know, something about he's like, this is it.
It's that moment of hope.
And it's probably because I know
answer.
what's gonna happen. It all fucking hits me right there every time.
That's that moment where it was all worth it because now Tony Stark gets his answer.
Yes, yes.
And that's all he wanted was a justification for it all to mean something.
Yep.
And that was that moment, that little finger, without saying anything, because like Doctor Strange said before, if I say something or tell you, it'll fuck everything up.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
That fucking no dialogue, only finger, it says so much. Upon rewatch, like fucking, he can finally get rest. Mission accomplished. He knows what to do. He gets his answers. The shit he's been fucking thinking about nonstop over the last 5 years, like Kim was saying earlier.
This last section,
it hits me hard.
This last section, the lack of dialogue is used so appropriately. The actions and everything speak for everything. And that was one of those moments where it was just a finger. It was the Captain America thing. You just felt it. You knew what he was thinking. It shows you that we've really understand. Like we've had so long, like 12 years of this, that we don't need to hear these people say these things. We don't need to hear what's on their mind. We know these characters now.
This part of the movie utilizes the history of the MCU so perfectly, so emotionally, so
Tony's actions in the next moments recall back to the conversation he and Cap have in the first Avengers when he says, "You're not the one to make that call. Like you're not the one to make the sacrifice."
Yeah.
And in the end, Tony's the one that does it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So that
because there's no more time to talk about it. You just gotta fucking find your moment and make the choice. And
the brilliance about this movie was the growth. The change from the first films to now.
Oh yeah, that's why Endgame is a perfect title for not only this fucking story, but this whole universe that they built over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the Endgame. And Endgame is a chess term.
Yep.
That's all this movie is one giant calculated chess game.
Every movie serves a purpose. I mean, even Ant-Man serves a purpose.
Introduction. we've established their connections to the MCU, but the Faj is. I wonder how good he is at chess.
Ask him.
I will email him.
Just tweet him.
That's email. My bad.
Use the Banter Bros Twitter. I always call it Twitter account.
Be like, hey, can we get on PlayStation 5 and play some chess, motherfucker? I think I can take you.
Well, it's not about him playing chess. It's about the ones who write this film. Are they any good at chess?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that set everything up.
Yeah, they're the ones that have to write it well enough to make it a chess move.
Yep.
Well,
but in fairness,
guys, but he gets all the credit.
Like Jason said, though, these guys get to play with other people's toys. So
hell yeah,
it's true.
Dude.
This is a film that shows that. Yep. Yeah. Tony Stark, the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
such a right choice.
It was done with
good character choice.
Just a great I don't know, brilliance to it.
A great 2 lines to like end that whole thing. Like Thanos thinking.
Yeah.
Thanos thinking,
having the gauntlet on his hand.
Yeah. That misdirect
saying,
was
I am inevitable.
dope.
And he snaps, and all you get is like a metallic thunk. And he looks and he doesn't have the stones.
I've seen this movie over 30 times. And every time Thanos does this, I'm still compelled. I'm like,
did you happen to notice? I noticed this.
They did it so well.
Sitting around this time, I feel like if you watch when he grabs the gauntlet on Thanos' hand and he turns it up so it's palm up, you can hear his suit doing something.
Right.
And I believe that that's supposed to be his suit taking the stones. I'd never caught the sound before.
Me neither.
But you can hear his suit making like movements of its own accord.
You just gave me another reason to watch this movie another 10 times.
Right. I mean, it is nanotech, so it could be doing.
Yeah, and I believe that's what it like. It's like they basically, because it looks like they stole the stones, like using the nanotech.
And all he does is hold his fucking hand up, like he's showing a wristwatch that he just bought. It's just like,
and the stones are like basically climbing up.
And they just climb up. Yeah.
It's a fuck beautiful. You without the bird, without the middle finger. It really is. I got you, motherfucker. Go fuck yourself. This is over.
His line, his "I am Iron Man" was
after. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an ad lib.
The original Iron Man film, when he was eating the cheeseburger and shit, and he said, "I am Iron Man." That was Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, it all stemmed from an ad. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to have a last line before he passes. That was his line. It was "I am Iron Man."
It was a great response to "I am inevitable" or whatever. I think that's what Thanos said.
That's what Thanos says. I am inevitable.
He tells him to fuck off with his wristwatch, and it says that shit. Hell yeah.
I am Iron Man, and I am
Batman. Quick question: did you guys watch the deleted scene? That's supposed to be right after the snap.
No.
It's called Tony at the Way Station. And basically he ends up in the same like setting where like Thanos sees Gamora when she's a child after he's snapped. And she's like, was it worth it? So he ends up there and he sees Morgan. Like it's an older version of Morgan, but he sees Morgan.
Is that his daughter? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And like they have like, it's like a 1.5-minute conversation and it's not fully edited. So it's cut really weird, but I can understand them not needing it. I think it's a more powerful ending without it, but it's a good scene at the same time.
I might have to check that out.
It's called Tony at the Way Station.
All right.
Yep. The that last line, he snaps, and you see all the bad guys start to dissipate into dust.
Yeah.
And because he just created a blip.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the lingering Thanos watching everything?
I thought it was really a great way to show the way Thanos thinks. Like, ultimately speaking, like he kind of got what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and he's like, fuck it, I gave him my all.
And he sits down because he knows when he's beat.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, he just sits and he accepts it. He doesn't fight it. He doesn't believe in like bemoaning, a failure. Like he just accepts it and goes with it.
Yeah.
That's the calculation. He realized
he's too logical. He's a scientist in himself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a truly interesting way to let him go.
Especially because he watches, he goes in circles, watches everything, and then he just sits down, takes a couple breaths.
Like he basically does what he does at the end of Infinity War. He just sits down and he sighs like he's finished.
Yeah.
What I loved was the look in the eyes. You just see this
defeat.
Yeah. And it wasn't sorrow. It wasn't anger. It wasn't, there was, it was just acceptance of, I'm tired.
Yeah.
That's it.
I tried my best. I gave it my all.
Yeah.
This is the finishing line.
It's carry on, wayward son, essentially.
It added to Tony's powerful death scene as well.
The next scene is probably what broke my heart the most.
Yeah.
Me too.
Especially and not so much because I mean Tony, basically finds a rock to lean against, and then Rhodey's the one that finds him. And Rhodey kind of strokes his cheek with that big fucking armored hand, and it kind of was weird. But the second Peter shows up,
and that's when it gets serious.
You remember again that Peter's 15. and he's dealing with this, and he's losing like a second father figure. Because I mean, obviously he's already lost Uncle Ben, and I mean, and he's losing Tony now. Like, so that part kind of broke my heart. And then when Pepper has to tell him, like, she asked Friday, like,
the vital signs or
whatever. The vital signs, like vital signs are like critical.
And
she
I like how she just said Friday, and Friday answered with a detailed question.
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought that was cool. Friday knows.
Tells him flat out, like, you can rest. We're gonna be okay.
And
like,
you can
stop. This is the only time that I can accept Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts having a purpose, being important.
Yep. It working. She's had terrible hair and looked out of place. I don't know. But yeah, she's the only.
It was the same hair she had before. She's just sweaty now.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, well, she should be, but wait.
She was in her own Iron Man suit, so
they gotta have better AC in them fucking suits. But
you would think this is a high-tech suit and you can't even put air conditioning in this?
Right. But yeah, everything I said is a superficial gripe. So moving on.
This movie was the only time I will say that Pepper Potts.
Yeah, you can rest now. That was a fucking solid, perfect final words.
And then to see Cap and Thor looking on after the fact, like Cap with just silently with tears rolling down his eyes.
Yep. Yeah,
like that whole part.
You can tell the impact of losing somebody who basically started it all.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing about Pepper. Pepper was really strong in this moment. She was just kind of like, I don't know. She was just really strong in her.
Yeah.
Her choice of words.
Powerful moment with her strength, accepting it, still being sad, but going like
it just.
Aaron just said, perfect sentence. We'll be okay.
It proved how well they knew each other, and like it kind of established their love and their relationship because he was blind and he was smiling and holding her fucking mechanical hand. I don't know. It's just kind of like brought their whole lackluster relationship building throughout the MCU together in this one moment. It kind of made sense of it in this small moment.
It made it all worth it.
So I gotta
How did we like the funeral?
I cried the first time I watched it.
Oh, I cry every time I watch it.
Yeah.
The funeral loses. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I personally cried during the funeral, but I don't cry at the last bit after that.
No.
Even though it's still as beautiful, but I don't cry at that part. But like the speech that Robert Downey Jr. gives,
is
as a hologram.
Is like great and
establishing his groundbreaking foresight.
And it was just that moment where he bends down.
Yeah, oh my god.
Because he's talking all
that's one logical. That gets me.
He's explaining everything, and then he just looks down, leans over the coffee table, and says, "I love you 3000."
Yep.
That's the moment that I just
that's my
even now shit I can't think about it.
Yep.
That's my second tear up moment.
The other part that makes me cry in the funeral is literally when Happy and Morgan are sitting down on the porch. He's like, "You okay? You hungry?" He's like, "What do you want?" She's like, "Cheeseburgers." He's like,
"That's my third."
Yeah, your dad liked cheeseburgers.
Yep.
That's the third one that makes me just, oh my god.
The actual lineup, didn't really do much.
The only one I noticed really was Cap kind of standing, even though Thor stands alone pretty much too, but like Cap, for some reason, like the fact that he stood alone, I noticed more because I feel like Nat would have been right there with him, like would have had Hawkeye and him next to each other, so she could have been there for both of them. Or at least been there for him since Hawkeye had his family.
Yeah.
But that's one I noticed. Otherwise,
Aram's second powerful addition.
Right. I mean, I really could have given a shit about Captain Marvel standing in her pantsuit on the stairs.
Yeah, I did not like the pantsuit. That was ridiculous.
I was like, what the fuck are we doing? So, I liked seeing William Hurt over in the on the sidelines. I thought that was interesting. And obviously having fucking Nick, Maria Hill's next to him, and obviously Nick Fury showing up at the last second was cool.
Hawkeye's family, that was a good one.
But we'd already known that he was like reunited with them. Like it wasn't like a surprise.
No, the beauty of it, I think I saw, is like Hawkeye hanging with his family, just going like, this wouldn't happen without you. Like the appreciation, I don't know, of his sacrifice. Like, I don't know. He got his family back because of Tony's death, or was able to keep him, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys didn't see that? No.
I mean, I think it's naturally implied, but
fuck you. Why can't I fucking point it out and make a fucking big deal about it? Anyways,
but yeah, the boy is really an interesting
from Iron Man 3.
Yeah. The boy is a cool addition. Even though like I don't think unless you were really paying attention that it would like you would register that that's who that's supposed to be.
I didn't know it till the internet told me months later after I saw this.
I wouldn't have known it either. I wouldn't have I would have remembered the fact that there was a kid, but I wouldn't have like made the connection that random kid standing alone is the one supposed to be.
Yeah, I was so confused when I first saw it, and then when they answered, I was like, all right, that's cool. But yeah, that's how I feel about the funeral and the camera panning. It was like some people I cared about, and some people I cared less about. So
the dialogue between Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye about like, oh, I wish I could tell her.
It made.
Blah, blah, blah. I was like, God. We have to get these cliche fucking scene in here.
Exactly. It was such a it made sense for those fuckers, those two people to say those words, but it did not.
Yeah.
It was too cheap.
And to each other because they have that bond, but
I don't know. Yeah,
my issue with Wanda, and we'll get into this later, but I said the same thing to you, Jason, about Rocket slapping Thor. And saying, well,
oh yeah,
you think you're the only person that's lost people?
Rocket and Thor on Asgard during the time traveling moment.
I feel the same way as I did about Wanda here. Now, Thor lost more than anybody in his fucking area, so he has all the right in the world to feel the way he's feeling compared to anybody else.
Yeah, definitely.
And Rocket slaps him just to get his focus, right, to give him pay attention. Yep.
Yeah.
But when he says you know, like, oh, I lost my family too. No. Thor lost everything. Literally. He lost his brother, his mom, his dad, his friends, like his best friends. He lost like 3/4 of his entire race or people. He lost his kingdom, his home, like, and then Rocket says that shitty fucking thing. And then Wanda said earlier, you took everything from me. Took one thing. She still has her friends. So she should have been able to move on.
Well, at least with Rocket, it's like it's not necessarily like him invalidating Thor's grief. He's just saying other people are grieving too. Yeah. He's doing it in Rocket fashion, so it sounds shitty.
Yes.
But yeah, like
my whole point though is we don't
Scarlet
understand.
Witch's whole thing is
Thor deserves to be where he's at.
Thor's earned a pass. No one else has.
Yes, that's it. That's perfect right there. No one else has. And you don't hear Thor complaining. That's just it. Yeah.
Thor just wants to die.
He hasn't complained about any of it. He's just matter-of-factly said these things.
With a little bit of whiny tone, but he's not complaining.
For the most part, he took it. He took it and then fucking downward spiraled, but he took it.
Yeah, when you take shit, you should be sad.
And that's why, like, even Clint took it better than anybody else really has for the loss of Nat and all that. He even took it. But it's just that fucking Wanda saying, "Oh, you took everything."
I feel like that also shows Wanda, like her origin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe gives you an understanding of how naive she is. She hasn't had enough world experiences really to be able to like handle those properly.
Pretty quick,
Like, because she was taken as a child and given these powers, and like realistically at this point, I think Wanda is probably in her early 20s.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like, I don't think she just hasn't lived. And then she gets thrust into being a superhero. So like,
she lost a ton.
That's the only. Lost her parents, and then got. That's all I'll give her.
That's a fair point to a sense of her character.
Yeah,
just she hasn't had enough to she's gone through a bunch of shit, but she really hasn't had enough time to get out of a bunch of shit to make her tougher.
Yeah,
So,
she hasn't.
I
She hasn't
understand.
been able to get tough. She hasn't actually had stuff to understand how to lose it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
so,
But we'll talk about her a little bit later on.
for sure.
So
Yeah, the Hawkeye and her scene was probably a small
It
setup.
was cliche.
Set up
kinda,
for the WandaVision emotional purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can probably talk about the wrap up of this film, the fucking montage, if you or it's like
montage. What?
So the
montage was during the speech.
Whatever.
Like when they're all reunited,
we
that
get
montage is all there during the
we
speech.
get the wrap up. We get the what happens next, like the slow motion, the music. We got Ned and Peter doing this special handshake in high school.
Oh yeah,
and shit like that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's
during Robert Downey. That's where during Iron Stark's speech from the helmet.
Oh yeah, it is.
The wrap up is going back to put the stones back.
Yeah.
Oh,
which raises a few questions for me.
Don't we get Thor before that? Thor and Valkyrie.
Thor goes off with
and this is
Guardians of the Galaxy.
This isn't important.
As Guardians of the Galaxy,
dude. Thor when he says, Valkyrie, you're the king. You this is your kingdom. The way he says
they need a king. They already have one.
No, but the way he delivers the line, it's the most serious and sincere he's been in this entire film. Like he's been whiny, he's been dopey, he hasn't been complaining, but he's been hurt and affected. But this is the moment you see his eyes be fucking just sincere and serious. And I
and
really
he uses the
appreciated that shit.
He uses the same conversation that he had with Odin. About I can't sit there and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And Thor
and
the first
the Dark World?
The end of the first
Dark World? Is this the second one?
I think it's the second one.
And he basically did the same thing. He understands where he sits. He understands himself well enough to go, I can't do this.
He does a combo of what he does with Odin and his conversation with his mother. So it's time for me to be the man I'm supposed to be, not the man I am, and that's instead of the man I'm supposed to be.
And that's the beauty I'm trying to speak of is he finally found his purpose, his place, his center. He's like back to the Thor he wants to be. In that conversation,
I don't know about that.
I don't think he's centered. I think he's on his way to being centered. Like he knows.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's taking the moment to go
on his way to being centered. Yes.
Yeah. He's choosing to do this.
He just knows that's what he can't do because he won't do it good.
But
and he needs to go find what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows that Valkyrie's been doing it for him and like while he's been wallowing in self-pity. Yep. So like that's what he means when she goes, they need a king. He's like, they already have one.
Right.
I'm gonna make some changes.
I expect you to
see him.
All right. Now I will allow you guys to talk about returning the stones.
Well, just know the Asgardians of the Galaxy, we all know who's in control.
Of course.
Oh my God.
I love that scene.
That scene was we all know it's Rocket.
Like, Drax is like, you two should fight for the honor of leadership. Yeah, I got a couple of blasters unless you want to use knives. Please use knives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nebula sounds fair.
We all know who's boss. Yeah.
That shit's cute. The more I watch it,
of course it's your ship. You say that, but then you touch the map like it's your ship.
Yeah.
I love it. I loved it.
It was a great comedic beat. I really enjoyed it.
They even end it with a punchline of eye contact. Like Thor just looks at him like, I know I'm in charge.
This sets the tone for the film that we're going to talk about later on.
Much later.
Love and Thunder. Yep.
That's what the MCU does. They just keep setting shit up.
To wrap up this entire film, we get setting it back to stones. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So Captain America is basically going to time travel again to return all the stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's being sent back by the Hulk. Smart Hulk, as my subtitles like to call him.
Arm brace Hulk.
Yeah, Smart Hulk.
I feel about that.
And then Sam and Bucky watch on.
Yeah,
I did. And he says his goodbye. He says goodbye to Sam. Say, "Oh, see you soon," whatever.
No,
Sam offers to go with him.
Yep. It's like, I gotta do this.
But they do that shit where like, don't do anything stupid until I get back or something. It's like, I can't. You're taking all the stupid with you. I love it.
Because Bucky knows this is a goodbye.
Yeah.
He's supposed to come back, but Bucky knows he's not coming back.
Bucky's not surprised when he doesn't come back.
Nope. And
like,
that's why
Bucky smiles like he's like, yeah, I know.
Yep. And that's why he said, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you too. And Sam's like, all right, bring him back. You know, like it just shows you how deep their friendship is.
Yeah.
Because they know each other. They're brothers. Like they know each other.
Oh,
and I thought that was great.
That concise dialogue shows everything you just said. It displays it.
This is literally a wrap-up film. They're just bringing shit back from the other films just to come full circle kind of thing.
And then we got the turn or the twist or whatever the fuck. This way to wrap up Cap's arc, I guess.
Did you like it?
I don't know. I go back and forth, but it's not. I don't have a problem with it.
I was fine with it, but
I don't. Sometimes I think it's unnecessary, and sometimes I don't know.
Few questions I have about this.
So he returns the stones.
Problems.
He returns the stones, and then decides to make a selfish decision during that.
What's selfish? Like people kept telling him like to get a life, and like so he does.
Yeah.
Well, not just because I said the word selfish doesn't mean it's a negative fucking intention. Like
most people are gonna say here
the
word
way
selfish.
You said it sounded like it was negative.
So Cap basically
the way you hear me is always negative.
That's true. So Cap basically decides to stay in the past and marry Peggy and I'm grow old.
Mm-hmm.
And so here are my continuity issues.
All right.
First, didn't Peggy at some point in one of the other movies say her husband died?
Fuck, dude.
I swear she says he died. Secondly, that he should have been present somehow in Peggy Carter or Agent Carter, the series at that point. If you're gonna have that fucking continuity,
see, Agent Peggy came out way earlier than this one.
Well, I know, but if you're gonna the timeline wise, like he should have technically been part of it.
But was like
that's why 2016. I think it's unnecessary.
I know. I'm just saying.
This movie wasn't even in
these
progress.
Are just continuity issues.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of flaws when it comes to continuity.
Sharon Carter, when they have that weird love interest thing going on, she's family. That's gross. Last thing, he gives Sam his shield that Thanos had cut apart during the battle. And they talked about the fact that they didn't have vibranium to fucking make another one of those.
Although now they didn't make another one. They didn't have to make another one. You got to remember that he went back to the 1940s and lived out
that fucks up his timeline.
And he never became Captain America, right?
Or
there was no
Cap. But I don't think it was.
I don't know if I. All right.
Whenever he got, when he went through the first film and stuff, from my understanding, is he's basically played out everything up to the point where he doesn't get frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all. So he never went to the ice. That was it. So he still probably went to World War II, did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Probably still made history. So he'd still have his shield.
Well, right.
But then it was that moment of he just didn't go into the ice. That was it. He decided to.
I don't know. That's the problem. Why I think
right, but
this ending is just a way to summarize his story. And if you think about it too much, it does not make sense. Continuity, this and that, whatever. So
my only other question was, and this is
just like all the time travel in this movie. If you think about it too much, it doesn't make sense.
Apparently, yeah.
And they make fun of it as well. Aaron,
it makes perfect sense.
You are perfect to me in my sense. Aaron, can you talk now?
He's been trying.
Were you? I know that's why.
I think this is. No, because my other problem kind of lends to future stuff, and I don't want to give it away yet. So I'll have to remember it when we get to it.
All right.
Don't be give it away now.
I won't. Anthony Kiedis. This weird fucking.
If Iron Man was such
a
genius, why the fuck didn't he make a failsafe mechanism in the gauntlet to not? Because Thanos never mind. He grabs.
He would not have survived.
Thanos
really
grabs
had to
the
come down
gauntlet
to-
that Hulk grabbed, and it like attaches to Thanos' hand. I guess it's all size, but I guess I don't know. He should.
Those are the nanotechnology, like it molds.
It
but I
just
think
adapts.
that's what I mean.
just
Like I think they
adapts.
broke that gauntlet.
This is what it sounds
think
like when
what
a
he
non-scientist tries to.
And I think
talk
what
shit
he
about
uses
a
is like
scientist.
I think the blueprints are in his system, so like he like kind of jerry rigs one in like his actual suit at the end. I think that's what happens.
Right.
That's my theory on why that didn't work. Because I mean, he jerry rigged it, and of course, you can't like work in a failsafe when you're on the fly.
Well, we got Cap having a happy ending. That is kind of the conclusion to
And
this
not the
motherfucking
Asian
film.
massage parlor kind.
Nope.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Peggy
he's-
might have been up for it. I don't know.
I was gonna say maybe he had a couple of those.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, so he basically
That's
passes
why
the
he
mantle.
didn't want to tell Sam
Passes
about
the
it. He was
torch.
like, "I'll keep those memories to myself."
And the interaction between Sam and him, like when Bucky kind of like goes, "Go ahead," and he like, whatever. Like he's already said his goodbye. Like this is what it lends to you saying that Bucky already knows he's not coming back. Like there's a couple of different like moments where you understand that Bucky knew he wasn't coming back from this.
Yeah.
And that's why when he turned around, there was a genuine shock, but instant realization.
Well, when Bucky, before he turned around, he smiled when Hulk was like, he passes time spot or whatever the fuck. And Bucky just kind of smiles like, yeah, he ain't coming back. And then he's surprised when he turns over and like
when he sees old man Rogers over there.
He like senses before he sees them type of thing. Because
he sees Mr. Rogers.
Their bromance connection is strong like twins.
Strong like the Force.
Another Disney property.
Overall.
And there's no post-credit scene.
No, I tried. I looked.
I waited too, and I think it was a good choice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact that it was Endgame, I mean, there's really no.
I guess you're right, Aaron. It's an obvious choice, but
also
I'm glad they made it.
They set everything up in the film for the future, so there was no need to surprise you with anything like they did because they've already done it. With Sam getting the shield.
The shield, that's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and
WandaVision.
We understand that. Hawkeye and Wanda.
Hawkeye. Yeah. Like we get to see all these things later on. So, it's if it wasn't for the Spider-Man movie that we have to talk about next, this literally perfect way to end a phase.
And then Sony had to go and fuck.
Oh yeah, I don't think they'll do it better than this. Even in the next Secret Wars or whatever they're planning.
Or the Kang Dynasty.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see, but this is some good shit. I don't know. It's hard to top. It's like, it's hard to top.
Overall, gentlemen, out of 5 to 5, Captain America shields.
You only give it 1.5? Me too.
Yeah, I agree, man. This is
it's not even a question, bro. Like you can't do anything less than a 5 on this one.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest films.
And anybody watching or listening to this, you gotta agree.
Right.
If you do disagree, leave a comment.
Feel free to hit us up. Yeah. Leave a comment, leave a YouTube comment, fucking email us if you want.
How much we are wrong.
Yeah.
And how ugly we are. Oh, never mind. That's the ad later.
Put us on blast. I don't know. I don't care. Is that what they say nowadays? Putting on blast? I'm too old for this shit.
Make us lit.
Okay, this is the worst way to end an episode of a podcast. So
cap.
We're finally original.
Definitely no cap. You got old.
Put us on fire.
No cap.
Did you just tell them to set us on fire?
I think I'm doing it right?
No, you're supposed to say set Netflix on fire if they don't get a season 2 of Sandman. But anyways, those episodes are coming up.
All right. It's 5 all around. This is a phenomenal film.
Fucking right.
It's obviously one of the biggest things of all time.
Yeah.
So it deserved it. I love this film so much. I agree with you, Jason. I've probably seen this a bazillion times. But it's just so good. It's so good.
It is
every time. I'm locked in. I find myself very little bored.
Great story, great comedy, great emotional, all that shit.
Everything.
Martin Scorsese would like this fucking film if he gave it a chance. I fucking guarantee it. He would not call this shit a theme park.
Nope, you'd have to give it a shot though. And this is a fucking theme park. This is a hell of a ride.
It's a fucking ride. He's not wrong, but he's belittling it a little bit. But
Yeah.
that's fine.
All right. Well, that's wrapping up. Not quite the phase. We still have one movie, but that's wrapping up the part 1 and part 2, Avengers Endgame.
Time to take off my bow tie.
Next movie we will watch to end phase 3 will be Spider-Man
from
Farfignugan?
Farfignugan?
Spider-Man Farfignugan.
I mean, they're in Europe.
So we will talk about that next, and then that's it. That's the end of phase 3. And we will be taking a little bit of a break. Just a little break.
Yeah, someone decided to have a child.
Well,
no, Sandman came out. We gotta talk about Sandman.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
We're gonna talk about some films before we get into phase 4. We want to talk about some other films.
We're taking a break from the Marvel stuff.
Yes. Talk about some other shit for a little bit.
And we need some more time to watch these series
ride,
instead of movies. But we'll be back with Marvel in a month or two.
Hell yeah.
All right. Have a good one. We'll see you later.
All right.
Peace.
Hurt feelings make me laugh.